Well, Cleveland. What else is there to say for Cleveland? Just 64-18, and you won 1 second round game. They did not. They did not beat the Atlanta Hawks allegations. They did not beat the 2015 Hawks allegations. Cleveland. What was that? Another double-digit lead that you blew. A third quarter where it looked like you didn't want to be there half the time, where you're giving up this massive run. The crowd was just completely taken out of it. This was sad. Donovan Mitchell showed up, who was injured, by the way. Donovan Mitchell, there was a game time decision. He was the only guy that showed up with 35 points. You can say 15 of that from the free throw line, 8 for 25 shooting. Not his best day, obviously, but still was making an effort. Where did everybody else go for Cleveland?
Well, Cade, and unfortunately, I don't think it was necessarily where did everybody else go. They pointed us out on the broadcast, and properly so, that what got Cleveland going early in that game and built that lead was them pounding away inside, letting Evan Mobley go to work. He had a great start to this game, and for whatever reason, as you get into that third quarter, especially, Cleveland got away from that. It turned into Garland and uh, Mitchell putting up a lot of shots in that second and third quarter, just jumpers. And Mitchell, or not Mitchell, excuse me, but Garland even was blowing layups he usually makes.
Yep.
So I think it was a lot of parts of Cleveland, clearly a banged up team. They looked tired. They looked not necessarily defeated, even when they're leading, but it looked like a strain on every possession, just about. There wasn't a lot of easy possessions, even when they were winning. And then that run starts coming, and it's almost like they kind of just accepted their fate that, yeah, we knew this isn't our series with how it's gone, so we're just gonna not necessarily lay over and die. They had, a little pushback there uh, to get back into the game in the second half, but after that, after Indiana was able to handle that, that's when they finally rolled over, and that was disappointing to see for a team that won 60 plus games.
Absolutely. But I mean, I want to give credit to Indiana, obviously. This is now back to back years they made the Eastern Conference Finals. An Indiana team, I've already given my spiel about everyone just kind of forgot Indiana made the Eastern Conference Finals last year, unless you were an Indiana fan. Everyone just kind of brushed them aside. Oh well, who cares? They're not going back. Just look at how everything is spread out here. Pascal Siakam with a good day, 21 points. Tyrese Halliburton showing up when he absolutely had to, 31 points, 6 threes, 8 assists, played phenomenal. Andrew Nembhard, he was dealing. He was having a great game. Nesmith, Turner, playing their roles well, doing what they're supposed to do, compared to Cleveland, where, I mean, you talked about it a little bit, Tyler. Evan Mobley had 24, went away from him in the second half. Donovan Mitchell already talked about him, but when you've got Max Strus going 0 for 9, 0
Mm.
points, it was one of your better shooters, and he's 0 for 6 from deep. Darius Garland's a horrendous 4 for 16 with 11 points. It was bad. It was beyond ugly. Ty Jerome finally gets in the second half, hits a few shots, tried to turn that momentum back, and Cleveland made it a push, but that Donovan Mitchell just bricks free throws. And when you start to have that confidence really go away from you, it's not a good time. Especially when you're at home and everyone can kind of feel we're not, this series is over. The crowd starts getting defeated. You start getting a little bit more demoralized. And it didn't help that you were coming off a game 4 where you just got absolutely destroyed. I mean, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, you were down 41 at halftime and you had 39 points in the first half. Like it was a horrendous game that Cleveland played in game 4. And it looked like they were going to make that push. They were going to try to at least get this thing to 6, getting a little bit more healthy, but they just couldn't do it. And all credit goes to Indiana. I don't want to take anything away from Indiana, but of course, the story of this thing is going to be okay, Cleveland, this was supposed to be your year, especially with what was going on with the New York Boston series. This would have been the perfect opportunity to make that finals run and show that you're legitimate. You can do this. And it's a second round exit for Cleveland.
Yeah, it is. You know what? The real story of this series, though, should be, Cade, that Tyrese Halliburton has indeed been the overrated allegations.
He has. He has.
There's, I mean, I don't see how you could, as a colleague, peer of him, as a player, in terms of his players. Because remember, it wasn't like that was some fan media poll. That was the other players
It
saying
was.
he was the most overrated. I hope all those guys take note and say, yeah, maybe we messed up on that one because he's played for the most part outside, the game here and there. This postseason has played just outstanding. I mean, it affects the game in so many ways. He's got the defensive side. He, makes great decisions on the offensive end, whether it's him scoring, whether it's, finding the right guy. And he plays a very nice pace for his game. It's not too rushed and it's just timely. That's just it's smooth. I don't know how else to say it. I like his game. So I hope everybody says, hey, yeah, maybe we messed up on that one because you just gave this guy a lot of fuel. I mean, back to back conference finals appearances now. Yeah, I'd be beating my chest a little bit and saying I'm overrated. Are you sure about that?
I mean, if I'm Tyrese Halliburton, he's too nice to do it. But just okay, can we get a list of every single player in that poll? How many conference finals have you
Yeah,
been to? I've been to
right.
two at least. If you haven't been to two and you're calling me overrated, what are we doing here?
Exactly. Don't be talking.
If
Exactly.
Joel Embiid was on that list, if he was a voter somehow,
Ooh,
just absolutely all credibility gone, Mister Second Round exit himself. But
ooh.
just this Indiana team, you talk about Halliburton's game. This Pacers team in general is just so fun to watch. I enjoy high paced basketball anyway. You know that if you've watched this channel at all, I've talked about it. Just the way they play. You don't see many teams that are just committed to get up and go. We're just going to fly around on the court. They do it all the time. It's so fun to watch. They're not afraid to spread it out when they need to. They're amazing to watch. It's sad that Indiana doesn't get any real credit. It's going to be back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals. Don't look now, but there's a good shot that they are actually in the finals, guys. Remember, there's a good possibility we have a Pacers Knicks Eastern Conference Final now. Really good shot that that happens. Pacers, they're only 8 wins away from a championship title. That's what Rick Carlisle, the head coach, was talking about. We're only 8 wins away. We're not trying to think any other narratives. Let anything get in the way. We are 8 wins away now from an NBA championship.
Yeah, that's crazy to think. And what makes I think this Indiana team go is they've got the right blend of guys that are proven, you know, solid players, guys that you'd say, hey, I wouldn't mind having that person on my team. Now, would you mark them as, number one options? Typically, they have been in their careers, for the guys around Halliburton, but they're all confident in what they're doing. And for the most part, they're unselfish. That's huge in the postseason.
It is. It really is. I mean, it's one of those teams that is really well put together. I mean, I saw earlier they're only 22nd in terms of caps or payroll. This is not a big
Right.
money spending team. This is the small market basketball at its finest, trying to spend as little money as you can and put together the best team you can. Indiana, once again, credit to them. But I mean, now you go back to Cleveland here, and I don't want to say that a lot of big decisions are going to be made because honestly, I don't really know what big decisions you need to make if you're Cleveland. That feels crazy to say given the circumstances of a 64 win team getting bounced in the second round. But the expectations that Cleveland had compared to you start to look at what the East is going to look like next year. You don't know where the Bucks are going to be at. Giannis might be in the West at this point. Jason Tatum, of course, with his horrific Achilles injury there, we're probably not seeing Jason Tatum next year. The Celtics are not going to be, as much as I hate to say that, it's just a fact of what it's going to be. The Celtics are not going to be what they were this year. That door is going to
Yeah.
be open again for Cleveland if they wanted to run this back. The problem then is going to be if you somehow don't do something next year, and that's a big enough hypothetical as is. We're a whole year away from that. But then I think is when you start to have that real conversation of what moves do we have to make.
What it reminds me of? It reminds me a lot of the Portland Trailblazers when you had LaMarcus Aldridge, Young Dame. Like once that team kind of turned the corner, you thought, oh, they've got a real window here, you know? And then within the next couple of years, that evaporated because you're at that breaking point where, that young talents entering their prime, guys got to get paid. And it's unfortunate, but it's a reminder that, look, Just because you have what you feel is a good put together team doesn't mean that window is going to stay open all the time. The Golden States of the worlds, what LeBron has done in his career, like that stuff is rare for a reason. It just does not happen typically.
Exactly, but it'll be a rough off season for Cleveland. I mean, it is. You're already going to see it. The regular season merchants, the 2015 Hawks comparisons. It's going to be a bad time for Cleveland for the offseason. Cleveland fans are just going to have to evacuate the premises of any social media. You just gotta get yourself off there for a few weeks. It's not going to be a fun time, I can tell you that much. But
2 weeks? Oh no.
yeah, I mean, it's not going to be good for them because Cleveland, unfortunately, it is time to put the fries in the bag.
Mm,
Had to put them in the bag. It's over.
gotta put them in the bag. It's done.
Exactly. But folks, as always, if you made it this far in the video, we hope you enjoyed it. Hope you liked the video by just clicking that little thumbs up button there. And that helps us a lot in the algorithm. It really does. Thank you for the 140 subscribers. It's hard to think this video is actually being uploaded. It'll be uploaded tomorrow. The day we're recording this is the 3-year anniversary of this channel, which is hard to think
Oh,
about.
nice.
That it's been 3 years since we started this thing, just continuing to let it grow. 140 subscribers. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, believe me, 90% of the people who watch this do not subscribe. Please consider it. It's free. It doesn't take any time at all. It's 5 seconds to click a button and then the notification bell as well to always be notified when new videos come out. Leave a comment down below. How bad are the frauds? Were the Cavs? We, of course, want to hear from you. If you're a Pacers fan, congratulations. You're back in the Eastern. You're 8 wins away again, just like last year. Indiana with another good opportunity in front of them, and possibly no Celtics to get in the way for the Pacers. If you're listening to this on Spotify, feel free to give us a 5-star review there. And folks, until next time, have a good one, everybody.